Marat Lerner, the former president of a debt relief services business, was sentenced to 135 months in prison for conspiracy to commit wire fraud and wire fraud. Lerner was also convicted of continuing his criminal scheme while on pretrial release. Lerner was ordered to forfeit approximately $2,340,154 to the government. Restitution to the victims will be determined at a later date. Lerner pleaded guilty to the charges in February 2024. The defendant learned there are serious consequences for stealing his client's money, even after he was arrested, and ruthlessly spending it on a luxury car for himself, online dating and expensive meals. His victims were hardworking people, who went to him for help saving their homes and livelihoods. Instead of helping them, Lerner took advantage of their trust and vulnerability to steal their money. Lerner continued his crimes even when he knew that his actions had directly caused his victims to lose their homes and/or to declare bankruptcy. Marat Lerner stole $2.5 million from fiscally vulnerable clients and forced several into bankruptcy after funneling their money to fund his personal luxury purchases rather than providing the promised reduced mortgage payments. Lerner betrayed his victims' trust, remorselessly continuing to perpetuate this fraudulent scheme even after his initial arrest. With the continued support from NYPD and CBP, the FBI remains dedicated to investigating those who employ empty promises to prey upon disadvantaged communities to satisfy their own greed. According to court documents and facts presented at Lerner's sentencing, the defendant was the owner of the Lerner Group, a business that claimed to provide debt relief services, including mortgage modifications, principally to the Eastern European immigrant community in Brooklyn. Many of the victims Lerner defrauded were already experiencing financial hardship and had specifically sought Lerner's assistance to help reduce their monthly mortgage payments. Lerner, in turn, promised that he could help them lower their monthly mortgage payments by working with their mortgage lenders to secure a mortgage loan modification or federal homeowner assistance. To carry out his fraud, Lerner obtained access to the victims' bank accounts, which he claimed he would use to pay the mortgage banks on their behalf. Lerner used his access to his victims' bank accounts to steal approximately $2.5 million, money that the 19 victims believed was being used to pay their mortgages. Once Lerner gained access to the victims' bank accounts, he transmitted funds from their accounts to companies and/or bank accounts that he controlled. Lerner covered up his fraud by claiming the money was being held in escrow or by affiliates of the mortgage banks. In truth, Lerner kept most of the victims' money and spent it on personal and business expenses, including a BMW, luxury goods, and expensive meals. Lerner caused several of his clients to file bankruptcy petitions to stave off foreclosure to continue his fraud, and as a result of his scheme, several of his victims are facing foreclosure proceedings. In January 2023, Lerner was arrested in connection with the fraud and released on bail. He was instructed not to commit additional crimes. However, Lerner promptly opened new bank accounts and continued his criminal scheme. After his arrest in this case, Lerner stole at least an additional $50,000 from his clients. In September 2023, Lerner's bail was revoked after a grand jury returned a superseding indictment charging Lerner with additional crimes.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.